on Instagram and Facebook. I am really excited. It's episode 3 in the How to Get Yourself Back on Track When Shit Hits the Fan series. So I'm really excited that you're here. I am just going to pull my pants up. I was about to make the cardinal mistake when it comes to live video on the internet, and I was about to go live without this. You guys, I teach people how to create videos. Oh, hey Tracy, yeah, I can tell you where I got this. H&M. Melanie, you're here. You're probably making dinner because you're calling in from Perth. It was like $20, Tracy. It's not even. I was actually in there trying to find an apron for my son, who is doing the Stephanie Alexander Kitchen Garden program this year at school. And I was just like, where do you find kids' aprons? Turns out you can't really, apart from the bad plastic ones from Spotlight. So he's got an adult's one. Hey, Sil, why is everyone saying they love this jumper? It was literally $20. I don't know what FTW stands for, Tracy, but thanks for that. Okay, you guys, tonight we are going to be talking about, and say hi. Let me know if you've been tuning in. Let me know if you enjoyed last week's mindset episode. Let me know if you have for the win. Yep, I feel about 100. Thank you for that. Hey, Kerry Lee. Hey, Debbie. So good to see you guys here. You know what? This is a really important topic that we're going to be talking about tonight, and I might be talking about it in a context that you might not have heard before. So what we have been doing, so as you probably know by now, I'm not going to go into the whole thing again, but everything kind of blew up for me at the start of this year. Everything was just like, there was shit flying everywhere. And I had that time of just like one foot in front of the other, And then I just got to the point where I'm like, you know what? It's time. It's time for me to get out of this state. It's time for me to shift gears a bit. And I just, as I do, decided to share what I do on Facebook and Instagram Live in a 4-part TV series. So you've landed here. We're up to, hey Desley, hey Brooke, hey Lauren. Dimmies used to have them. I'm not too sure what Dimmies used to have. Was it these jumpers? Probably. So we set the whole stage with episode 1, and I was asking you to get really, really present, and because change can't happen when you're not like really getting what's going on. We're just constantly kind of not operating from like a standing point where we're trying to make decisions based on something that's not reality. So I had to get very real about how things weren't okay. And that was when I did the Facebook Live about like getting a mental health care plan. But I'd done lots of other things too. I had decided to hire a cleaner. I had decided to do all sorts of things. And, a big part of it, and if you missed last week's episode, I do encourage you to go back and watch it. It was literally just changing how I thought. Like that was the first sort of thing that started happening. But then because I recognize, that feeling of just like a mountain of to-dos, can't find my way through the, just everything foggy, like not clear, feeling like weight of the world, feeling like I'm not too sure how I'm going to get this all sorted. Like literally making the lunch boxes each day is kind of enough, right? Do we all know that feeling? Oh, the aprons. Thank you. Dimmies used to have kids' aprons, right? Hey, Janine, loved reading your post in the membership today. We had an amazing session in the Small Steps membership today. Energetic clearing of overwhelm and stress. It was so good. So any members who are watching, you go straight in and watch that now. Anyway, so this is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking to you about how to kind of simplify things, how you've got too much, hi Kylie, you've got too much going, like too many balls that you're juggling, and we need to massively pull back. And I know that you probably feel a lot of resistance to doing that, because in your mind, you're like, Lisa, easy for you to say, blah, 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 like all of the reasons. I used to think I had no choice about my level of overwhelm either. I just thought it was life. I genuinely thought that if you had 3 kids in 4 years, you were destined to be a hot mess forevermore. And that's not true. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hey, beautiful Georgie. Lunchboxes drive me crazy. I know. Yeah. So I have a few notes because once again, you know, life can be complicated and it's late. And I'm traveling tomorrow and I have not packed my bag. So yeah, good times. So this is the thing, right? I really want you to understand something about me. And if you've been around here a while, you probably know this. That my natural state is probably chaotic, and that's a story. That's a story right there. But my way of being that I have most operated in has been kind of scattered, messy, things not necessarily in order. Like I wouldn't say I'm an organized person. You know, if anyone watches my Insta stories, you will see that yesterday I lost our one and only car key. So that was good. It was found. But what I want you to really get in your head is that I'm not one of those people who is like just comes at life really organized and is like a Pinterest type person where I'm always looking for how to organize my life. I literally have very little systems at all in life in general. And it's why I need help, you know, to run this business, because my brain doesn't think in systems. My brain likes spontaneity and doing things differently. I think creatively, my feet aren't always necessarily planted on the ground. And so what I'm sharing with you tonight is coming from someone who has literally had to make an effort to pull back, because I'm just a yes to all the things kind of person. It'll figure itself out, like, yeah. And then like, why am I crying on the bathroom floor and life doesn't make sense and all of that sort of stuff. So here's what I want you to do. There's 4 main points I am talking about tonight. And I keep looking up at Instagram and down at Facebook, and I hope the light is okay. You probably had hot mess moments. I was constant hot mess, Georgie. I was like, I was also living in Brisbane, so I was literally hot. But I was just like, nothing was ever organized, and it's just not my usual love spontaneous decisions. I need to stop. I think, you know, when you're people like us, Kylie, it's kind of hard because that's what also gives us life. So yes, person 2, wish I wasn't, we'll be talking about that, Lauren. So there's going to be 4 points tonight. The first thing that I want you to say, that I wanted to say, was that, and this is really, really big, you guys, and this is basically the whole point of like the Small Steps membership and why I show up, is because I think all of us, including me, have normalized really quite an abnormal life. And I've just heard it from so many experts over the years. Today, again, Charity in the membership, who was helping us with stress and overwhelm, was like, we're just constantly in a stressed state. And I remember hearing it from Nat Kringoudis years ago. I don't know if anyone here can remember the series, that women's health series that I did with Nat. And she was like, we don't even realize, our bodies know, but we don't know, that we are constantly in this stressed sort of state. So that fight or flight mode, it's like, it's constantly on. And you think about how we live our lives, like, guys, quick, into the car. Like, you're totally hearing my mum voice right now. Into the car. Have you got your library bag? Where are your shoes? Why are you, go. And it's just like that's stress. Our body doesn't know if that's an elephant running into our camp or if it's just a lost library book. Do you know what I mean? Life or death? Not so life or death. Body doesn't know the difference. And when we say yes to all the things, when we constantly add more to our plate, it just trips us out. And I feel like we need to, the first thing that I really want us to do, like almost like as a collective, is to get present to what we've normalized. You know, it's really, really confronting and quite upsetting when you realize that the life that you have created for yourself is not conducive to your physical health and your mental health. Whoa, hard. You know, I had someone say to me just today, I was like, I just feel like I'm lacking clarity in this particular area. And this person said, remember that the answers are in the silence. And if I had heard that 2 years ago, even a year ago, I would have been a bit like, because where's the silence? How do I get the silence? How do I create space in my day? Like, you don't have like this, and this to do. And it's like, oh, hang on a minute. Well, whose responsibility is that? Is it normal to live a life where there is literally no space? For me, it's something that I hear all the time with Small Steps members. And it's one thing when we open up the doors to the membership, which we'll be doing next week. It's like, but how long is this going to take? And I'm constantly giving out information in bite-sized chunks to members because I know our lives are so maxed out. But should they be? Like, what are we really doing if we can't kind of sit and chill for half an hour a day? 5 minutes a day? Like, what have you normalized in terms of your level of overwhelm? Totally agree with you, Savan. Everyone should go and follow Savan at Wellness Uncovered. Chronic stress is a silent killer. It literally causes disease without a doubt. It's all we all know this, right? So if simplifying our lives isn't a priority, it really, really should be. Okay, so I know for me, when everything kind of goes, I need to come back into that whole zone of how can I make things so simple that I can literally get through my days with ease. Like, it's what I want to do. I want life to feel easy, breezy. Well, there's an ad in that, isn't there? And we wonder why we can't sleep or remember or focus, yet or feel what we need anymore. Right. My house is a mess and I let it be like that. Okay, so, all right, listen, let's do this. I'm a yes person. I wish I wasn't. Totally. So here's something that if you've done the Small Steps Back to You program, then you will be familiar with the juggling balls exercise. So I'm just going to explain this to you guys. This is one of the most simple and effective ways to get clear on what you can let go of, because that's what simplifying your life and reducing overwhelm is. It's not adding anything more to your plate, okay? It's actually reducing things, like it's taking things away, but it can be really hard to let go. So my juggling balls exercise is one that I wanted to share with you tonight so that you can think about all the things a little bit differently. So I want you to get a piece of paper, and I don't have a pen with me. Yes, I do. Wow, I was prepared. Well done me. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to draw 3 big circles, and if you don't have a pen and paper, you won't forget this. I want you to draw 3 big circles, okay? 1, 2, 3. And these are glass balls. So these balls are glass. You really don't want to let them drop. If you let those glass balls drop, they smash, and then when things smash, they break, okay? But what I also want you to draw is lots of little other circles. Some of them can be quite big, but they're not as big as the big ones. You know what I'm saying? So these balls here are rubber balls. And this can start sounding quite rude, but it's not. So what these balls are rubber balls that when everything's a bit chaos and when you're like, okay, something needs to change, what we need to get clear on are what are my glass balls that I need to keep those ones in the air. These rubber ones, you know what? They bounce. They freaking bounce. And I don't need to keep those ones in the air all the time. Like, for example, I don't need to iron. Lots of laughter, obviously. Balls joke is always funny. These rubber ones, look, they're not life or death. And what we do is we spend time trying to keep every single ball in the air, even things that don't really matter. Like, how many times have you found yourself going, oh my God, I'm just exhausted because I know I shouldn't have, gone out for that dinner, or I know I shouldn't have blah, 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 but I said I was going to do it, and so I did it. And it's like, at what point does that become kind of uncool and unhealthy? And when can we just respect our bodies and think, sometimes I just got to say, no, this is a ball I need to drop. Look, friends are coming over and the house isn't tidy. Oh my gosh. If they were actual friends, they wouldn't give a toss. So let's get real about this. So what you need to do is start thinking about what your glass balls are. And when you get clear on those, it might be like, and you know what? It changes for me. I would have always thought that, that eating really well was a glass ball. And for a long, long time, it was. Until I started to realize that there's really, really easy ways to eat very, very simply that actually, require so much less of me. And you know what? Sometimes it's just okay to get those Jamie Oliver fish fingers and put them in the oven. And so it's funny because different seasons of your life, those glass balls will be different. And for me right now, for example, it would be, helping my daughter with her anxiety is like this glass ball. It is almost trumping everything else in my life. And that's okay. It's not going to be a glass ball for ages. But once you get clear on what your glass balls are in this moment right now and the other things that you can let drop, well, the rubber balls will always bounce and the glass balls are the ones you need to care about. And so many times, like, I don't know if you agree, but you're trying to take care of all of these things at the same level and capacity, and you can't. Like, it's impossible. So you might have, like, work is a glass ball. Can't drop that. Really can't drop the work glass ball. Maybe another one for you is your family. But even more, get more specific in that, like family. What are the things within my family right now that are my glass balls that I can't drop? And it might be your marriage. It might be your children's health. It might be really like your glass ball right now. Like in holiday times, it just might be quality time, whatever it is. But my guess is that keeping the house tidy for that family might not be the glass ball. And yet you might be focusing all your energy on that. Okay, so I don't know if that helps. So timely. Okay, cool. Yes, Melanie, it's so great. Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying it, Lizzie. Your messy house is rubber. Yes, we have to give ourselves permission to do it, you guys. I think these unrealistic expectations of where we try to keep everything all the time, it's making a lot of us very sad and very tired, and we're not actually able to create space for things that we enjoy in life. So get clear on your glass balls and your rubber balls, okay? So that was the second thing that I wanted to share with you tonight, and there's two more. And you know what? You can do that as many times as you want. And you know what? It's a really good thing also to do with your partner, if you have one. To sit down and go like, well, what would you put in glass balls right now? And see whether you're getting the same match. See whether you're like, hang on, I thought that could totally drop. And he or she is like, no, that's actually like the most important thing for me right now. What? Oh, that's why we always argue about this and this and this. So it might be really interesting to see in your partnership where people are placing their focus and attention. And then just give yourself permission to just let a little bit go. Oh, it's so hard, but we should really do it. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to say, two more things. And the last one, oh, you know, I can read it. Okay, that's good, it's positive. So the third thing that I wanted to do is say that even although it can feel sort of obvious, like you just need to let go, you just need to simplify, cut back. You know, in the membership, we talk a lot about decluttering and little things that can make a really big difference to how we feel about our day. And if you've never listened to the podcast episode that I did with Alison Davies on anxiety and clutter and those sorts of things, Nick and I actually interviewed her. You need to go and listen to that. Everyone who is registered for the Dinner Hack series, you should have got that in an email, so hopefully you did. That will give you a real sense of how literally clearing space, simplifying your space can have a huge impact on your brain. Like our brains are not able to take in all of the things that they're seeing, like literally with our eyes. Our brain is just a constant filter. And when we're asking our brains to filter all the time, like this is not important, this is not important, this is not important, this is not important, it takes up a lot of brain space to do that. So the less we can have around us, you know what it feels like when you rock into your, you know, you've cleaned your bedroom, for example, and you walk in and you just think, nice, I'm so relaxed. Or like me today, walking home after the cleaners had been, and I'm like feeling groovy, feeling calm, even although nothing is organized for my 3 nights in the Gold Coast. That episode is the best, yes. Debbie, if you didn't get it, glad you're enjoying it. Shan, I hope it's Shan, that's how you say it. You can just go to the Small Steps Living podcast and you'll see an episode with Alison Davies. She's a brain care specialist. She is a friend. She is rocking an event with Maggie Dent either now or very, very soon, and has amazing things to share about brains and how they impact behaviors. I know a lot of cool people. We've got an interview with her in the membership as well. Okay, anyway, so I just wanted to say about this is that sometimes it can feel like when we decide that we need to start simplifying our lives, or, you know, our whole house is a mess, or our, you know, our planners just have spaces marked, like everything is back to back, and we are just, it feels like we need to literally move a mountain in order to be able to shift out of that overwhelm. The thing that works best is always really, really micro steps. So making sure that you're not like, I need to clean my whole house to feel better. So you come off this and you're like, she's right, she's totally right. There's shit everywhere. We need to make some changes. And then you think the job is way too big. And when am I going to get time to do that? So the whole reason I talk about small steps is because when you want to change something, one of the best ways to do it, whether it's your behavior or your space or whatever, momentum makes a really big difference. And being able to tick things off a list, so good. So when we're talking about simplifying our lives, and each month in the membership you get a new simplifying sort of hack, because I think this is such an important issue in our modern world. We need to break it down into small chunks. So literally, if I was cleaning out a study, don't even have one right now, but say I was, I would be like, okay, I'd write a list. I'd get my notepad and pen out, and I would write a list of all of the things that need tidying. So one would be like top drawer. That would be a whole thing. The other one might be phone cords, because, you know, they're all in there. They need to be sorted. They just keep getting added to a pile. Like, let's sort this out. But that's like one job. I can do that in 10 minutes. And being able to have a list like that front and center and being able to just tick things off a list, doing those little baby micro small steps, whatever you call them, makes a really, really big difference in your ability to start to cull the things in your life, like literally the stuff in your life, and even just little things. My Small Steps to Tech Freedom course, for anyone who is addicted to their phone or devices, talks about, has these little small steps and things like being able to just sit and delete people out of your social media feed, like the people who are just bringing you down and making you feel poop. Like, you need to sit down and actually do that. But if you think you have to do that plus this, plus that, and plus the other, I don't know, does that turn anybody else on? Because I just end up just going like, well, back away. It's too much. And it's so funny. No, I'm not going to go into that. That's a whole other thing. I need to listen to it again. Remember that one having a real impact on my perspective. Same with me, Tammy. The handbag, yes, Melanie, we did a handbag clear out in the membership. But see, this is the thing, right? We allow things to pile up, and it's not just physical stuff in our life. It's a stack of things. It can be like negative thought patterns as well. It can be toxic relationships, and we just carry this shit around with us, and we wonder why we're overwhelmed when we're literally just holding on to all of this stuff that doesn't help us. And so when I am ready to, get back into my groove, get back on track, I literally just start writing lists and start clearing out all of the junk that does not serve me anymore. And this is the fourth point. I think a lot now about what serves like the highest version of Lisa. So this is the whole thing about what have you normalized, right? Are you operating at your highest level? Do you feel like so amazing that you wake up every day just going, life? I wonder if you do. I would love to hear if you do. I know for me, when I'm in these moments where I'm feeling way off track, that I don't feel connected to that highest version of Lisa. And getting back to her can feel really like hard. I can feel bogged down, literally weighty. Like I can't move here. And so I have to start like just chucking things off. And it's not easy, it's really hard. But what I keep in my mind, and what I'd love you to continue thinking about post this episode, is when you're looking to simplify your life, you're looking to let go of things and make things easier for you, because you probably normalized a very tough, scattered, overwhelmed existence. Do you have a sense of the best version of you? Do you have a sense of who she or he is? I can see there's some blokes watching on Insta. And what does she need? What does she not need? That highest version of you, like, wants to exist and live. Like, we weren't here to live in this completely overwhelmed, constantly stressed state. So if you wanted to exist it as your highest, most amazing, luminous self, well, what would you need to let go of? What would your environment need to feel like? And it's not going to be right now, and that's okay. And that's why we take small steps. That's why there's no freaking quick fixes, even although people will try to tell you that there is. What does that version of you need? And are you really taking this seriously? Do you really know that version of you gets a chance to live and to come out and to be? And how might that happen? So, Georgie, I'm glad you agree. So I wanted to leave that with you. I'm trying to keep these episodes to half an hour. I feel like I'm totally winning. And please feel free to ask me any questions before I go. But that's kind of the reflection that I want you to take. So here's what we've spoken about tonight if you've only just joined. We spoke about getting present to what we've normalized in terms of our stressful, overwhelmed, busy existences, okay? It doesn't have to be like this. A lot of the time we have choice about it, even although we don't realize we have a choice. And then we talked about the juggling balls exercise, which is a really effective way to start to look at all of the things you're trying to juggle, but which ones actually matter. And then, you know, I recognize, and it's why I deliver, little strategies to help people actually make the changes. Because we can know we want to do it, but unless we're part of a community of people who are doing the same thing, unless it's kept at the top of our mind, it just falls by the wayside and we continue our old patterns. And until we actually take a step towards wanting to change and, you know, being a person who's committed to that change, then it doesn't really happen. And that's why when, you know, I mean, Janine, I wish you could share your story here of like the changes that you've experienced, just taking a small steps approach to, and it all came out by her organizing her school fair and the way that she's approached it this year as opposed to previous years. See yourself in 1 year's time. What does it look like? Yes. Hey, Carly, Lisa, you have helped me take back my life. Now I'm doing the work and I'm loving figuring this out. I don't have it all together, not by a long shot, but I'm certainly prioritizing me. And Carly, don't make me cry. This is the game. Like, we are the game of life. It's not anything that's happening out there. It's us. It's the way we talk to ourselves. It's what we accept for ourselves. It's what we're saying is okay. And is the constant overwhelm and busy okay? Is it? If it is, awesome, no problem, glide on by. But if you're watching this, it's not. And so something needs to change. So obviously, you know, I share small steps ideas a lot, and we will be opening the doors to the membership next week, actually, in case you're interested in that. But in the meantime, you really should get registered for my dinner hack series. That's a 3-part video series training that's starting tomorrow. I should actually really grab that link and put it in the comments for you, because that's where I just show you like how to massively simplify your dinners. It doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need to be at the shops every night at 5 o'clock going, you don't need to, like, thinking about dinner. I was talking to a friend about this and she's like, the problem with dinner is like 90% of the issues with dinner are deciding what to have for dinner. I'm like, totally. So I've basically put together a little training series where I will give you, it's just the best. So I'm going to dump the link to that in this thread, and you can register and watch that. I'm running it over the course of the next week. And then next Wednesday, we're going to culminate all this. I'm going to actually put together, like, we're going to talk about food, and we're going to talk about how to keep it massively simple and achievable and budget friendly, because I don't know, I've never really gone as off track with food as I did, you know, I guess, you know, the start of this year. I was just like, I mean, thank God I know what I know. Thank God sausages and vegetables is an acceptable dinner in my household. But I'm basically just going to show you how I make whole foods achievable every single day, even if shit has hit the fan. And to get back on track, like, sometimes I need to be reminded. I was searching for something on my website today, and I was just going, oh my God, there are so many recipes there. What the hell? I forgot about those Chinese chicken pancakes. Yes, please. So I'll be bringing you all of that in an amazing 1 hour workshop. So that's going to be all the slides. You get a worksheet when you register for it. It's really amazing. Like, you'll walk away with a meal plan and all of this sort of stuff. But like, you guys, I'm not about crazy ingredients. I'm not about making your life harder. I am all about making your life simpler. And I recognize, like, I've got so much more work to do in this space. And I just, you know, my mum is coming to stay for 3 days. I'm going up to the Gold Coast. I'm running a retreat for women for 2 days, in 2.5 days in the Gold Coast. And And my mum, I know I'm going to come home to a house that's just like got stuff moved into places, and she'll probably bring new storage equipment just because that's what she likes to do. Because she knows it's not my strength, but I am definitely trying. And there's so many hacks that you can do to just get yourself on your way. So have you given your higher self a chance of living? Melanie, it's a big one, but it's like, what else are we here for? I don't want to be the bottom of the barrel Lisa through my life. I actually really want to be the best version of me through my life. So what do I need to do? I'm happy to try new things. We had sausages and veggies tonight too. Yeah, so twice a week. Different types of meat, very good quality sausages. They matter. Get good quality sausages and, you know, you have a meal. And all small steppers know my saying, have an egg, have a meal. It's real. So you're saying so many things that make so much sense to me. I missed most of tonight, but can't wait to have time to watch it. Can't wait for dinner hacks and more. Thanks for keeping it real and simple. I'm a single mum and need support like this. Sending you loads of love, Karen, and you're not alone. There is, like, this is like endemic. This is not something that is individual. I'm talking about this because so many of us feel it, and it's the whole reason I created the Small Steps membership. It's the whole reason I show up for you guys, because I'm living this too. At the start of this Facebook page and blog and stuff, it was just recipes, and then I was like, yeah, but what's the point in putting up recipes if no one's actually got time to make anything? No one's even got the headspace to think about whole foods, because all of the time we're just completely overwhelmed with the day-to-day of our lives. So we just keep doing things the same way. And then I started to realize that none of us, like, we all just sort of decide to change things by just going, oh, I'm just going to implement this system or this style of eating or whatever. And then I'm so committed and I'm there and I'm doing it. And then we fall off the bandwagon, and then we call ourselves failures. We make it mean something about who we are. You know, we've got no ability to stop that monkey brain that just keeps those negative thoughts going time and time and time and time and time again. So that's why we can't talk about food in isolation without talking about how, you know, busy and overwhelming your life is. We can't talk about it in terms of how you talk to yourself and what's going on in that brain of yours. And because, like, if you think you're a piece of poop, you're going to eat like someone who is a piece of poop. You start to change how you think about yourself, and everything changes around you. So that's it from me. 38 minutes, that wasn't too bad. I want to thank you all for joining me. It's always so fun to have people here chatting away to me. If you feel like anyone you know needs to see this, then make sure that you tag them and share it. And Dinner Hacks is kicking off Friday for right date. So I'm going to put the link in here. Click on that. All I do is send you some emails when the videos drop. They're short videos. They're going to change the way you think about dinner completely. And then next week, this time, we're going to have a big fancy schmancy. Like, it's going to be an amazing masterclass about everyday whole foods, because what you put in your body matters. And when I'm getting myself back on track, pretty much the first thing I start with, like the easiest win, is like, what am I going to have for breakfast? Okay, so my pleasure, Carly. Thanks for your comments. Beautiful to see you here. Janine, I love my small steppers. And no problems, Debbie. I'll see you soon, guys. Have a great night. Bye. Whoops.